Hi, good morning everyone, and welcome to AI India Tour. This is an initiative of Microsoft Azure Developer Community in association with Rescale. Today we have with us Mr. Rahul Ambore. Rahul is an AVP Azure DevOps architect. He has an experience of about 14 years, with the last 10 years focused hands-on experience with Azure DevOps and architecting in Azure cloud solutions to help enterprises build, rehost, re-architect solutions. Today, Rahul will be talking about Azure DevOps and generative AI. Let's bring him on the stage. Hi, Rahul.
Hey Azhar, hello everyone. Good morning.
So the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you Azhar and thank you all the organizers for ensuring the sessions go smooth. So what we are doing today is just we get started. So let me quickly share a screen and then I'll quickly talk about um, what we're gonna do, the quick agenda, and where is this guy? Window. All right, entire screen. Okay, just Azure, let me know if you can see my screen, and then uh, I'll I'll get started.
Yep, we can see it now.
Okay, perfect, guys. Thank you again. So my name is Rahul Ambore. I work with State Street Bank as a solution architect, focusing on FinOps, DevOps, and CloudOps practices. So, so last 10 years, I'm into the Azure, specifically helping enterprise level or banking or financial or insurance companies to move their workload on Azure. So that's what I do at work level. Apart from that, whenever I get an opportunity, I talk to forum like this or any local user groups, or I attend local user groups just to get a look and feel how what is happening around the cloud market or cloud industry. So that's all. And from the credentials angle, I'm Microsoft certified trainer for last 5 years. Along with that, I'm also solution architect expert on Azure. Similarly, 5 to 6 years, I think I now 6 year. This would be 6 year, and along with that, a couple of other certifications into the data governance, security, FinOps, and CloudOps area of Azure, primarily focusing. So that's very quick about me. So let's move to today's session. So this is very interesting talk. I think it will be more of a demo than just I talk a theory. So the flow would be I'll quickly touch base about Azure, why people are moving on Azure, what are the key challenges. It will be very quick. I just wanted to brush up. I think cloud is not a new now. It has been there for 10, 15 years, and many of you know. So I'll just touch base upon it. What the Azure or public cloud really means, and then we'll do a couple of minutes talk. A couple of minutes theory on Azure DevOps. So you see that the first is intro to Azure DevOps and ADO. So ADO is nothing but the Azure DevOps practices. So what is why Azure DevOps, and how do we use the Azure DevOps? The key component of Azure is Azure's DevOps CI/CD. What is the difference between classics versus YAML pipelines, and how do we start? Why this is built up is so the key area for this session would be generative AI, LLM, prompt engineering, and demo around Azure OpenAI. So so first couple of minutes, or maybe 30% of the session would be into the Azure and Azure DevOps. And once we have a little bit of understanding of it, we'll move to the key part of it, that is Azure AI, OpenAI, generative AI, LLMs, how you can get your own LLMs, how you can start building the application similar to the chat GPT. what it takes, and then prompt engineering, is it really engineering or is just an art, science, commerce, whatever it is, right? So we'll do a little bit of it, and then we'll do a demo using the Azure OpenAI's capabilities. Whatever we talked about, we'll cover it in a on a demo, how you can start it, where do we use, um, what are the parameters we can fine tune to get the proper answers. And at the end, we'll touch base upon the certifications. Certifications are good for getting you to the door. Also, it will help you to streamline your learning process. So there would be a syllabus for, say, um, Azure AI or Cloud Foundations, or Azure Foundations, right? So you'll get a streamlined method of learning. Otherwise, you'll watch couple of sessions here, couple of sessions there, and then you'll not meet your end goal. So certification good for that. Along with that, you should also do a little bit of projects to add the real value to your certifications. So with that, we're gonna end the session. So yeah, this is what it is for today's coverage. Let's move to the first slide of today. Why, what, or what is really the Azure and Azure DevOps? So if you are whenever if you see somewhere someone is talking about, I do all those things in ADO, my pipelines are in ADO, or my repository is in ADO, right? So it is nothing but they are mentioning the Azure DevOps. Yeah. So people would industry people would sometime you would use the ADO as a alternative to Azure DevOps. So don't get confused around it. So for any cloud, right? If you see why we are jumping on a cloud, is the key reason that with the cloud it help us to move fast, deliver fast, and then without the upfront investment. So if you wanted to simply host your chat application or simply host your website, if go back like 20 years or 15 years back, you need at least one computer, and then you need to manage all these components, set up it, get a licenses, just to run a simple website. But nowadays you don't need that. You can just couple of quick click and you will have your website up and running. So that is the power of cloud. So cloud is really not new for us. We are using way back before even the AWS and Azure was launched. If you in terms of SaaS model, if you say that we were using Gmail, um, or OneDrive or Google Drive way back. So these are nothing but the cloud offerings as a part of SaaS. SaaS is nothing but the software as a service. So public cloud has a three models: IaaS, infrastructure as a service; platform as a service; and software as a service. Software as a service we were using a long back. Only this platform as a service and infrastructure as a service been there since these guys launched their public offering, like Azure, Google, and AWS. So that's very quick about Azure or any public cloud. It would help you to not only just speed up the development, delivery process of your application, but also adds the reliability, availability, and some way it also improves the security for small organizations. So if there is a startup like 10 15 people and they do not have lots of funding, so you would see they are using maybe they may use the public IP addresses. They would not have lots of security, governance, firewalls, because that is the security investment, and they may not consider that at initial levels. However, if they just switch to any public cloud, these are the key requirement for them to run their business. So you would get all those things, bells and whistles by default. So that is one of the key thing. And again, if you wanted to just give it a try, okay, let's see if this works or not, without doing a upfront investment, you will also consider leveraging the cloud. So let's see if you can, if you wanted to launch application and see how the response is from the user, and if this works. If not, we'll modify and do something else, right? So in those situations also, you can just use the cloud offering for your use case, test, get a response, and pay only for what you use. So upfront less investment, pay what you use, and then key thing is deliver at a speed. So that's why usually people use cloud. And now moving a bit to the next topic is Azure DevOps. So uh, DevOps is nothing but the automating stuff that you do manually. So that's one aspect of it. So there are Azure DevOps definition or DevOps definition is large, but if you see what really people are doing in their job is they are automating application delivery to meet the end goal. So what would be the goal for any application manager or product manager is to deliver the features, fix the bugs as soon as possible, ensure that their application is highly available, ensure that the application security is intact, and there is a less hassle for the team. So if they wanted to build something, they don't need to rebuild everything if they already have tested pipelines in lower environment. Yeah, and get a confidence. How do we develop, deploy applications at a speed? So that is the key reason I think we all use Azure and any DevOps. So moving to the focusing on Azure DevOps cycles or Azure DevOps. So again, as I mentioned, the book definition is DevOps is the union of people, process, products to enable the continuous delivery of a value to your end users. So this is like plain vanilla textbooks based definition. At by and large, if you see, whenever you talk to any project manager or you part of any agile team or scrum master or scrum team, right? What you simply do is like you say you go to the drawing room and say, okay, this is the feature that most of our customer are expecting. Let's build. Yeah, so you'll plan it. You plan it. You'll develop that that feature, and then the next stage would be build that stage and test it against the your test cases. So that would be the third stage. And once you deploy it on your platform, it could be anything, Kubernetes, VMs, PaaS, or anything, and then operate it, monitor again with monitoring tools, understand, get a feedback from the end users. And again you'll have, so okay, so this you may get a couple of feedback from the users. Users from APAC may say, okay, this application is behaving properly. However, Europe customer may say, we have a little bit of latency because of the network. So how do we optimize it? So you get one data points that application is behaving properly, but there is a latency. So how do we improve that? Then you can have a content delivery network, or you can improve the instances of your applications near to the user, or you can have load balancers, something like traffic manager or front door, to handle the request and route it to the nearest instance of your application. So these are the couple of things that you will learn as you go from manual deployment to the DevOps plus continuous delivery. So that's the quick life cycle of it. Now we just got a little bit of understanding why we use cloud, what are the key things that Azure DevOps has to offer, and then moving to uh, uh, going deep dive to the Azure DevOps. So so if you see these 4 5 offerings here, right? Why people would consider Azure DevOps versus other tools? Yeah, that could be one of the question. Or why should people consider Azure DevOps, or why not Jenkins or Bamboo or Harness CD or many other, or GitLab, right? So the key reason I would say here is so now it is much more easier. But if you go 5 years back, so there was one tool for Azure boards. That tool was only for planning the Jira, planning the tickets, planning the bugs, planning, fixing the bugs and all sort of things. There was one tool just to run the pipelines. There was one tool to host your code. So Jenkins would be sometimes only to run your pipelines. Azure, GitHub Enterprise or GitHub is only to host your code, and then few other applications just to do one task of whole this life cycle. But Azure DevOps has a whole suites all together on a single page. So here you can host your code in Azure repository. You can channel that code via Azure pipelines, and when you can have your test cases again that development, and then at the end once you deploy, you can skip your artifacts or your code into the Azure artifacts. So that is one plane of glass. So we're gonna do that demo also. How does that looks like? We will also do quick pipeline deployment, stage-based deployment. The key thing again I wanted to underline here is this is all built up. We're gonna see in the next session how Azure DevOps or any of your daily work will get impacted by the GenAIs. How our Gen AI or other component of AI would help us to do a better job at what we are doing. Yeah. So now I think this is time. We'll quickly move back to the demo of Azure. Okay, I hope you still can see my screen. I see that it is showing me I'm still sharing my screen. So if you see, this is the cloud platform. This is the portal. If you just go to the portal.azure.com and you will land up here. Yeah. If I go back to the Azure resource groups here, you'll see there are a few resource groups which is already listed. So if you see count, it is 12. Yeah. I have a 12 resource groups already created for me. So now I'll go back to the Azure DevOps. Yeah, so Azure DevOps has a hierarchy. So you'll get a plain. So whenever you go and sign up for Azure DevOps, you'll just get a single organization, and then you will have a. So my organization name is just my name, Rahul Ambur, and then in that organization you can create a multiple project. So you would have a XYZ application team, and then you will have some other application team, right? So finance has different application to migrate, so they would have their own projects. So under the organization, there's going to be multiple projects. So I got two projects here. One is Azure and one is PowerShell. So if I go back, go to the PowerShell projects. So this is quick landing page that you see when you go to your projects. So and then in the dashboards, you will see whenever you start your day, you would see what is happening on my dashboards, on my projects, what are the things that I wanted to do today, what is the failure versus success rate for my pipelines, or you can add so it is one pane of glass where you can monitor what is happening on um, overall Azure DevOps project. So you can just keep edit and then add whatever you wanted to add from here, right? So what is the frequency of pull request, who is approving, is there any pull request pending, release pipeline overview, release was the old pipeline, and many things, right? Velocity will come. There is many things that you can add it here based on your requirement. So I just added my pipeline success versus failure rate, how many pipelines are failed, expired, and all sort of things. And then the another part I have added is a board here. So I wanted to see how many task is assigned to me, what is the status of those tasks. So you can see all those things. Earlier, as I mentioned, this was like there are multiple tools to do the same thing. So if I wanted to see which are the tasks is assigned to me, then I need to go and log into that specific portal and then see, and then again switch to this portal and do my work. But now with this evaluation, you'll have everything is under the one roof. So this is how the board looks like, which I mentioned. You can just create a one task, epic issue, whatever you need, so and then assign to someone and then see what is the status of it. So if I click on this, if I wanted to provision, or if I go back quickly, yeah, and then you can add a new issue or task and link to existing say build a case for ABC team demo, yeah, and then simply assign it to someone you wanted to, and then so as soon as you assign this to someone, so I had two users here. So if I assign this guy, it will show if in his portal on his dashboard, or on his board, so that way he'll know, okay, this is the task I need to do, and this is the timeline, and these are the details that I need to fill. All those things are listed here, so they'll be able to action according to requirements. So they don't need to chase you for what is happening and all sort of things. Also, project manager can see all this diagram. So there are 4 or 5 team members in a team. They can see what is happening, which jiras are pending, all sort of things they can monitor also. Moving to the repos, you have repositories here. You can create multiple repositories, and same as you will have branches, pull request, same thing that you do in general GitHub. You will be able to do it in a Azure DevOps portal as well. So that also helps you to ensure that you don't need to switch the logins, portals, pages for simple tasks. You can do in one thing. So I have a couple of scripts here in this repository, so that I can then that I'll quickly show up. So now, going back to the so most of the times, I think 30-40% of the time, people from the DevOps organization would be working on building the Terraform modules or Bicep modules or ARM module for infrastructure building. So not only for infrastructure, but also stitching that infrastructure together, maybe a couple of scripts, so that they can work together. So this is the one of the pipeline that I wanted to quickly show you a demo. So this I'll duplicate this and I'll show you what this really doing. Yeah, how DevOps is really helping you to do your job much more efficiently. Yeah, if I quickly edit this pipeline, so this it has two stages. Stage one, and there is one is build stage, and then there is a destroy stage. Yeah, so in this stage, what we are doing, we are creating infrastructure. Yeah, and then in this stage we are destroying the infrastructure. So there would be situation that you wanted to you have a new version of application, you wanted to test it on a new infrastructure without touching to existing one, um, and so forth. So here so this is just the template. You are actually calling this CLI script to do the job. So this is in the cloud repository under the Azure CLI.yaml. If I go back here into the repository, you would see that under the cloud there is Azure CLI, and this is the script which is actually doing the job. You can have you can call multiple scripts. You can have so this is the bash actually. This is CLI. You can have templates, Terraform, anything that you want to call, you can call it from here, and it will deploy the infrastructure for you as you wish. So let's go ahead and run the pipeline. So if you quickly see what it is doing, it is creating two resource groups. Yeah, I copy this one. It is creating my resource group 4, my resource group 5. It is also creating two disks, and then keeping putting it into the each resource groups, and then it is creating a Azure virtual machine. So this is minimum parameters it required. If you wanted to customize, you can do that as well. Uh, okay, so let's run this one and see how it goes. Yeah. So usually it would take a couple of minutes to finish the pipeline. While it is running, um, I'll let it get started, and then I'll show you something interesting on a Azure portal. Okay, so there are two things actually why you're DevOps pipeline can slow down. One is if you are running Microsoft hosted agents or Microsoft provided agents versus if you have your own agents. So this is if you go back to the pipeline, I think in the pipeline itself, it is that. Okay, here you would see the self-hosted agents, or this is the image, right? So you see this is Microsoft images that we are using. So if when you use the Microsoft images, it will be kind of a slow. It will take a time. It will take its own time to finish your job, because there would be multiple other people are also running, and that is the primary reason. And if you are into the if you're into the financial organizations or banking or insurance or healthcare, or in general the companies where there is requirement of running your own agents instead of running on Microsoft, so most of the cases you will not use the Microsoft's infrastructure to run this pipeline for security and compliance purposes. So that time you would use your own agents. I'll show you where you can configure those agents, and then that will speed up your pipeline. It will also improve the security of it. So now I think we are into so it is already what it did. Okay. Okay, it did created the resource group. So let's go to the Azure portal now. If you see, there was only 12 resource group earlier. I think ideally we should see more than 12. So now we see there are two more added. Yeah. So if you see, these are the two resource group we just created in Azure, and I think there should be a VM is getting created, and another thing is that we should have a data disk is created here. So while we are talking, if you go back and quickly see how much time it only took 2 minutes. As we see, the underlying infrastructure is already provisioned. Yeah, it is that quick. So now it even created the Azure VMs. If I go back to the portal, and this one, you will see the VM is already running. Yeah. So while this is running, so this is sweet, this is quick. If you wanted to customize it, it may take 2 more minutes, and then you can have while this is running, you can just go and take a break and have your coffee while it is provisioning. So that's how it makes your life much more easy. So this VM is already running. Yeah, so you don't need to, and then if you just wanted to create multiple VMs for your application, you can just count it and add a multiple VMs, and that's all. So now you see the first stage is completed, provisioning infrastructure. So maybe if you have a single a small website that you wanted to deploy, you can deploy on this VM, and then you have storage attached to it. So that's one click of it, right? But when you talk about destroying, you need additional controls. So no one should automatically destroy things, because if you destroy, what may happen that someone is working, and then that's whatever they may lose their work, right? So for that reason, we have approval. So this is the second stage of deployment. So one is creating infrastructure. Now you have tested everything is fine. You can go ahead and just approve this, review it, what is and then add your comment, and then approve or reject. So that is the additional controls that you can keep on the pipeline. So destroying or any destructive operation, you can have additional controls to check and verify. So now I approved this, it will go ahead and destroy all those infrastructure that we just created. So while this is happening, I'll also show you when you go to the pipelines, instead of running the whole new whole the two stages of this pipeline, you can simply so not all the time you need to create an infrastructure and delete immediately, right? So why you wanted to run two stages, you can simply go ahead and select the provision stage, do your job. Maybe it will take 1 day 2 day to test your infrastructure, and then once you're done with that, you can simply select the destroy stage, and then your infrastructure will be deleted. So that's how you can customize it as well. So I was talking earlier that we will touch base on the hosted agents versus um, Microsoft's agent. So here it is under the your project settings. You can go to the agent pool, and under the agents pools, if you see, these are all the Azure pipelines. These pipelines are running on the Microsoft hosted agents. Um, yeah, this is all Microsoft hosted agents. So you can create your own agents and add it here. And then if you wanted to run a parallel job is one more thing, that if you have multiple teams running, uh, 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 if you have multiple teams doing their job, you wanted to ensure that not only one pipeline should be running, but multiple pipelines should also run to improve the speed of deployment or speed of the work. So coming back to the stage, so this is kind of it takes a little bit longer, but see, let's see where we stand. It just authenticated, and then it will go ahead and delete the stage. Okay, so so that's a quick touch base demo about Azure DevOps. There are many things to cover, but this is very high level. Why we use cloud, how do we use the Azure, and why we really consider Azure DevOps, considering the one plain glass solutions for many tools that need for one DevOps engineer. Yeah, so they are also moving from this Azure DevOps to the GitLab action. So the GitHub actions and many more tools, but this is the foundation. If you know this, it is much more easier for you. If you see, I wanted to touch base on this YAML versus classic pipeline. So if you see, you have coded the pipeline now. I think the pipeline is somewhere else. Let's see if I have this. Yeah, so see this one of the pipeline, I think. Yeah, so this is the one of the pipeline. So you have the agent that you're using from the um, um, Microsoft, the variable that you need, and a couple of other things here, right? So you can code your pipeline as you need. You don't need to because what is the benefit of coding it? You can just import this, copy this pipeline, and send it to another team. They don't need to do the invent the wheel again. They can simply modify a couple of parameters for their requirement, and they'll be able to start using it. Yeah, so that's the key thing of Azure classic Azure YAML based pipeline. So if you go back, I think 5 years back, it was release pipeline where it is all simple, quick. Just create a release. You don't need to be worry about um, YAML based YAML. You don't need to learn YAML. You just click, and then you would have you just see which environment you want to delete. You want to provision to select the file which you wanted to deploy, and small things like that. Yeah, so you can do it from here also. New release pipeline. You see, yeah, on the first stage, you see, select which repository you are using, GitHub, all sort of things. Give the project your source details, in short, where your code is, which pipeline you want to run. In our case, we were running the Azure CLI script, so that would be the source of it. And then you say, okay, my first stage is to um, what is my first stage, right? Select the agents here. It is, you don't need to write YAML. It is just you'll have it everything in the drop down menu. Add one more stage. Okay, once you select the agents, you'll say, okay, what kind of template I'm deploying. It is ARM templates. Yeah, and then provide a couple of values here, connection, subscription, where you are deploying all sort of things, and then you can add additional if you want to delete it. or do all sort of things. So this was the old traditional way. Most of the people are not doing it, but it is good for learning initially, to get a look and feel of it. But when you are going to the any big organization, so I think this is banned. No one allow people are not allowing to use the classic pipeline because of its portability issues. You cannot port it easily. Yeah. So that's all. And now moving to our pipeline stage 2, where we are. So I think we don't see, if we just refresh this VM which you deployed, it must be deleted by now. Yes, the VM is deleted already. Yeah, so that's the beauty of automation, or Azure DevOps using these tools. So you can simply you can simply go ahead and implement the infrastructure or environment in a couple of clicks, which is reliable, highly available, and scalable as well. So now moving back to our um, slides. I don't see any questions, but if there's any questions come in, please feel free to add it into the comment box, and then we'll try to answer as and when possible. Yeah. If there isn't enough time to cover the questions, please feel free to reach out over the LinkedIn, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. Yeah. So now moving to the key part of it, which is AI. What is AI? Why do we? Why there is lots of buzzword about AI? AI is your friend. AI is a magical robot, I would say, or a friend, or a great friend of yours, who will do the things for you without explicitly telling him how to do it. Yeah, based on the all the data that you got, um, all the data you shared with him. Yeah, based on your data, they'll learn what and how you are asking them to do, and what should be the process steps to um, do these tasks. So artificial intelligence, it is so I think this slide you might have seen multiple times, but this is critical to set up the stage. So artificial intelligence was initially been started as a part of computer science in 1950s. um, so that's when the in 1950 AI explored, people started talking about. And then it took a long time to born the new stage of it called machine learning. So machine learning is subset of AI. So AI is the parent, and then machine learning is again uh, subset of AI that enables machine to learn from the existing data and improve upon data to make a decision prediction. So machine learning's use case, I would say, based on the data, available data, machine learning model can predict how much of money that one shopkeeper can make on maybe Sunday morning of July, right? Versus how much of money that shopkeeper can make on the um, rainy or the winter Sunday morning, right? So that could be a machine learning model. So machine learning model in this case would use the weather data. If the weather is good, I think many people, as usual, they will go and do the shopping. If there is a raining, if there is snowing, yeah, the people would avoid shopping on that specific day. So based on that existing data, machine learning model can predict that, okay, today, tomorrow, or next week, how could be the sales for your shop, right? So that could be one of the use case of machine learning. And then moving forward is deep learning, where machine learning techniques in which a layer of neural networks are used to process the data and make a decision. So it is subset of machine learning also. So when you take a data from the weather prediction system, how it makes the decision, what is the layer of it, what is the technicality of it, right? So that is the high level of deep learning. it is much more improved in 1990s versus 2010, and now we have the key thing, which is generative AI. um, Generative AI is nothing but the new development that happened in the AI world in 2020. I think after the Corona, it has been emerged. But last 2 years been phenomenal for generative AI since the OpenAI launched the ChatGPT 3 3.5, and then it is like it is like everyone's favorite terms, Gen AI. Yeah, or people alternatively talks about not only Gen AI, but they will say ChatGPT 3 or ChatGPT 3 3.5 alternatively. So that's how famous or people are used to it. So generative AI is, as name suggests, it generates the new content based on the input we give. Yeah, so that is very high level layman term. Generative AI is new. It generates the um, new content. It could be text based, um, it could be photos, it could be a code, it could be images, and all sort of things. Yeah, so that's what the generative AI can do. Moving to the next one. So here we are right now, right? So this is 1 year again, 1 year old slide. So 1950s was the starting point of AI, and today we are in 2024. This slide is 1 year old, so I think the this point would must be moved a little bit. So you see that initially couple of decades was a slow movement, but last decade was was a big change in this development. So if you see, um, if you really wanted to onboard on the AI bus, so this is the correct time. Don't miss it. Try to learn theoretically as much as possible, and whenever you get an opportunity, try to do a small projects, or see how we can add values or contribute to the AI community whenever possible. Yeah, so that is how you can be connected, and then at once at some time you will be able to onboard on this journey. So that is the every, I think every 10 15 years or 20 years there would be something new, and this decade this will be really game changing. So don't miss the board. uh, don't miss to board the AI bus. So so now we got just to recap, right? We know that what is Azure, why people use cloud. We also touch based upon the Azure DevOps, and how Azure DevOps pillars, boards, artifact, pipeline, repos, and then dashboards and all sort of things, how it would help you to do your job more efficiently. We also saw a quick demo about it. And then we touched base upon the AI, AI evolution, 1950, 1990, 19, and then 2010 and 2020, how the AI has been emerged, AI to ML, ML to natural language processing, NLP, and then now we have Gen AI as the latest. I would say still a 3 year old, but that is what really the next thing. And then I think it will not be uh, it will not be much delay to, we'll have something called AGI soon after Gen AI. So Gen AI is generative AI, and then we'll have AGI. Um, yeah, so uh, which will be a game changer. So now Gen AI is already game changer, but it will be much more impacting real, it will solve real problems. Yeah, so if you see what Gen AI can do, Gen AI can only generate generate the content based on this model. Yeah, and model is not really continuously updated. This is stateless models. So Gen AI answers you based on the connected models, and then models are not continuously updated. If you go ahead and ask ChatGPT about what is happening in India is today or tomorrow, today or yesterday, right? It will not be able to, it will not be able to answer your questions, because it only have a it is only trained on the data till I think January 2022, right? Or 2023. It is not latest and updated one. So that is the key thing. That is the challenge, or that is the that is the issue with the this model. They are not always real time. Versus AGI would be a game changer. It would just not generate the new content, but it will be a multi-modal AGI. It will answer your math related key questions. It will not just do a 2 plus 2, but it will do a much more complicated questions, answers, challenges, real challenges, as we go forward. Coming back to this slide, Azure OpenAI versus OpenAI. So Azure has their AI offering. I think it's been 6 7 years when I was using their cognitive services, speech recognition services, and then few other services for data science use cases. But they have been migrated to one framework under the Azure OpenAI, leveraging the OpenAI's model also. So there is a partnership between Azure OpenAI and OpenAI. So OpenAI would usually develop LLMs models like GPT-3, GPT 3.5, or GPT-4 and GPT-5 soon. I think they will work on those models, whereas all those power they need to do all their job been will be provided by the Azure. So I think that's the high level partnership they have. And in terms of like compute, GPUs, and everything, or the infrastructure in short, or the platform in the short, will be provided by Microsoft. And then and on that platform, the OpenAI team will develop the necessary models. And then in terms of whatever the models that is been developed on their platform, Microsoft would integrate in their ecosystem. You might be seeing lots of co-pilots everywhere now. Initially they started with the GitHub copilot. Now you would see Azure copilot, you would see Microsoft 360 copilot, and then lots of new things is there in a um, what you call Microsoft ecosystems, Windows, um, MS Office, Excel, and many other tools. So they are integrating those tools models in their existing tool chains. So that is how win-win situation is happening. Yeah, so this is a quick slide about it. Tell me about Azure OpenAI services from Microsoft. So, as I mentioned that before OpenAI partnership, or before OpenAI was a boom, they already had a couple of services: text translation, image image identification service, and then sentiment analysis services. I think there was one use case that we used. So we use the Azure's sentiment analysis tools, and then we integrated that tool with the Twitter, then Twitter, now X. So to identify if there is a specific hashtag about something, what is the sentiment of that tweet, and based on that sentiment score, we would see how the event went. So if there is a football event, or if there is a cricket match between two countries, and there is hashtag, if we track that hashtag using the Azure's sentiment analysis tool, and if we see that okay, the experience for the attendees was good, if the sentiment analysis score is higher, if not, then what are the, so if it is lower, it means that there is a lots of scope to improvement. So that kind of insights you would get from the these tools. Now they have added all those tools in a one umbrella called Azure OpenAI offerings. So now they have ChatGPT 3, Codex, DLI, REST API, and all those things. And these all models are available for us to access via REST APIs. Yeah, so that is how life has been easy now. So this is how your Gen AI would do, or LLM will predict. Yeah, so this on this slide we'll talk a little bit later, but just to give you a context, LLM it's nothing but just it predicts what is next, right? So in the LLM or in the configuration of your Gen AI platform, your UI, in short, you will just give a context. Okay, you are the health nutritionist for a CEO, and so if you give that context, if you set that context to your prompt, then you will be able to and then okay, so this is in the so if you just ask, I want to eat, right, it will only give you I want to eat fruit. It will not say I want to eat lots of junk foods. Yeah, because you give a context that you are a health nutritionist, and based on that it will predict, it will start predicting. Yeah, so that's how it is. So yeah, this is again the what we talked about, Azure AI offering content generation, just like how it generates the new code, how it helps to generate the new images, and then chatbots and virtual assistants is not the new. It was there a long back, but they have revamped, and now it is under the Azure AI offering. You can create a chatbots and virtual assistants to support your to help your customer support team to deliver the better services 24/7. So that is one part of it. Translation, I think this is way back. If you are using the Google Translator, so it is part of it. So and Azure also has this text summarization, sentiment analysis, as I mentioned earlier. So these are the couple of offerings that you can go ahead and take a look. um, uh, there are key solutions, key offerings. These are the key offerings. This will solve many more real life questions or problems. So yeah, again, this is the same slide. Artificial general AGI would be a groundbreaking research. I think one quick thing I wanted to you to go ahead and take home is what is AGI and what is that Q star project. Whenever you get a time, just explore it. What is happening? So you'll be a little bit ahead. Um, to know that what is happening into the Q star or AGI, just not 2 3 year old Gen AI or ChatGPT, right? So see what is happening in this area. Look at the AGI and Q star projects. So these are the GPT-3 Codex, Delay, and this one more guy called ChatGPT preview. These are the free, and these are from Microsoft. You might have also seen the latest announcement from the Google. Also, they have Gemini. Similarly, Meta is also working on some great stuff on the LLM side of it. So keep an eye on it. Okay. Yeah, so this is what each model is doing. GPT-3 is just a generative AI. You ask something, it will answer you based on this data which it has. Codex is nothing but the as name suggests, it will help you to be write a better code. Delhi, I think Delhi is comparatively older. It will help you to have the it will help you to generate the new images to avoid any copyright related issues, and then that's what it will do. And then latest we have ChatGPT. ChatGPT, again, just the Gen AI. You can connect many foundation models like GPT-3, GPT 3.5, GPT Turbo, GPT-4, and many more. And then based on that you get the power, and then all these things. Okay, so guess what this image is, right? I don't know whether you know about these guys. These are 3 4 people, 4 5 people, all over the internet, or not. Where are these guys from? But this is not the real people. If you see, these are all generated images. These are not the real people. This is see how realistic this is now. Yeah, so this is again the power of it. So now moving to LLMs. I think again a quick recap on the what we covered: Azure DevOps, and then we touch base upon the uh, Gen AI evaluation, how it is helping, what is the Azure offering, what is the Azure and OpenAI partnership, how they are impacting the world, and then now we'll move to the foundation of Gen AI, which is LLMs. LLM is large language models. Yeah. So if still there is any if there is any questions, any doubts, please let that coming in into the comments, and we'll answer it as and when we get a time. If not, do connect over the LinkedIn and we'll answer it there. Okay. So now I think quick time check. I think we are close to an hour, but we'll see how we can cover it in time. Okay. So moving to the large language model, how large they are, right? So so if you see on the right hand side, you'll see the BERT, GPT-2, GPT-3, and then many more at GPT-4 at the end. They have large amount of parameters, and the larger the parameters, larger the data, the more impactful, useful model it would be. Yeah. So most of these models are based on the transformer architecture. What is transformer architecture? I think go back, take the this one more point, note down this. What is the architecture for this LLM? Why people are preferring the transformer architecture, and what are the other architecture to consider when building the large language models, and why people are only using the transformer as of now? Most of the models are built on the transformer model architecture. Yeah. So that's one thing. The key thing here is the larger the parameters, larger the model, it would be much more helpful in that situation. Okay. I think you might see this thing somewhere that what is the difference between natural language processing versus LLMs. So LLPs they are built for one specific use case, versus LLMs are more generic. NLPs are much more accurate for one specific use case, whereas these are much more generic, descriptive, and not as optimized as NLPs. So that's very high level. The difference between NLP and LLMs. Foundation models like GPT, GPT-4, 3, 3.5, these are the foundation models that Azure not Azure OpenAI, but OpenAI has been published, and based on that we can have your own models. So ChatGPT would be good for general requirement, but say I am a healthcare organization, or I am a bank, right? So I need how can I use those things for my requirement? How do I tune these models so this will be useful for my business? Yeah. So I need to find a fraud in my banking systems, right? Or if there is how do I find the fraudsters or scammers in the transaction, using the whatever the data that I have? So I can input all those data, transaction related data, to these models, and train these models for my data, and then I can integrate with my application, so it will be much more useful for me. So GPT, GPT-4, these are the just foundational vanilla models, and then you can use train these models on your data for real life. So I think this is really interesting discussions. Um, what is Gen AI versus general purpose Gen AI and game changer Gen AI? Yeah. So I'll quickly touch base this on this. Is general purpose AI is the Chat GPT 3, which will ask Chat GPT, okay, plan my trip from one location to another location. add itinerary, um, or help me on the code, generate the image. These are general requirement, right? For anyone can use ChatGPT, general purpose GenAIs. But there is another game changer GenAIs. So what are those examples? So in healthcare, you can in healthcare you would see, not now in India at least, but in many of the in developed countries, I think they have started integrating the Gen AI models in a such a way that they will feed the X-ray or scan of your body to the data, to the Gen AI, game changer Gen AI, and it will predict. It will not predict. Yeah, it will also predict, but it will also tell you what are the just based on your X-ray, what are the chances of cancer, what are the chances of some diseases to you. Yeah, just based on the X-ray. What are the, how's the health of your eyes, what are the chances of you getting some um, fatal diseases. Yeah, so those things can be identified in advance with the game changer AIs. So specific um, Gen AIs is called game changer AIs versus general purpose AI is just like ChatGPT 3 and all sort of things. These are the normal generic purpose Gen AIs. Yeah, so I think by now you might have a question that okay, this is great, but how do we build our own LLMs? Yeah, so you need lots of data, like books, Quora, public social media, GitHub, Reddit, and lots of data. In short, lots of amount of data that you should have. And then once you have that data, you can train that data against, you can prepare a vanilla model and then feed that data to that model, and then it will be trained on it. So that is the key thing for for this requirement. One key challenge here I see that it will be difficult for normal people to build these things, considering the availability of the hardware, and then processing power. So I tried something, and then just to respond to my initial message, "Hi, good morning," it took 5 minutes. Even I had a 32 core of CPU. Yeah, so it really required a large amount of compute. And yes, if you have it, then you can simply go on Hugging Face AI community for LLMs. Just Google it. I'll also show you during the demo. Google it. There are lots of 458 million, I think, people put small general purpose LLMs there. You can download for your use case, and then feed your data to that model and train and build the LLM, and then get ready with the and then connect to the UI, and then start asking question whatever you trained for. Okay, so general concerns and considerations with Gen AI or AI in by and large. So so now we are in a generative AI era. It will be AGI very short. So generative AI can only predict the things. It can only generate the things, and it only answers what it already knows. Yeah, but Gen AI will be much more advanced. So what may happen that if someone ill person, right, or someone is with bad intention and goes ahead and asks, um, how do I kill someone, or how do I do some bad thing to the humanity, right? Gen AI do not AGI would not have any emotion, so it will simply answer what is the process, and then also it will help some unknown fact also. Yeah, so that would be a safety concerns, that would be a privacy concerns also, right? um, Many people are raising lawsuits again OpenAI for their data usage, how data is being handled. Yeah, many as of today, even many financial organizations are not ready to use the GitHub pilot, considering the way that data is being handled. But it is improving, but that is how it is. The key question that key challenge I think is carbon footprints and sustainability issues. Same like if you run your car or if you travel by car or if you travel by bus or a train versus if you use the uh, if you use the air travel, the carbon foot will increase by 20%. Yeah, so if it is it will be much more, it will be 20% higher carbon footprint if you use the air travel. Same thing with this um, uh, uh, Gen AI or AI based hardware. It requires lots of compute power and it will generate the lots of carbon footprint as well. So that's the environmental concerns and sustainability issues with the current way of implementation of AI. Another thing is deep fake. You might have heard in the news or seen in the news or read somewhere that many people are seeing their deepfakes videos. Recently, I think Amitabh Bachchan also posted on the X that someone has used his face for some kind of marketing or something. Same thing happened with a couple of other actresses also in India, that deepfake is causing lots of issues. Yeah, so that is one thing that government I think taking very seriously to build the laws against it, and I hope that will lower the situations or improve the situations. Again, how your data is being accessed, who has access to your data. The third one, fourth one or fifth one is accuracy of information, misinformation, accessibility. I'll tell you one of the examples. I was just asking, I think a BART or ChatGPT a couple of months back when I wanted to travel to my native during the early season. So I asked them, okay, I want to travel my native. This is Pune to destination, and I'll be driving my car, and then we'll have family members of 4 or 5, and then these are the locations. So plan my trip. It will be I'll start from the morning this time, and then that would be the I wanted to reach this my destination at the time. So I requested to plan my journey. So it took some help from the map. It did give me a good um, estimation of timing and routes. However, on the route it hallucinated a lot. It gave them lots of misinformation on the way. So when I was, it told me, okay, you're traveling this route, go ahead and visit this fort. This was built by this empire, and actually, this is nothing. In reality, there is nothing like that. So it is just the misinformation. So take whatever output has been generated by GenAIs with a pinch of salt. It is not 100% accurate. It is sometimes misinformation. This is because it has to hallucinate sometimes. So that is one thing, and then the key thing is again hardware availability. It is not available to everyone um, at a cheap level. It is much more costly, and even that is not available. Yeah, so I think we quickly touch base upon the um, um, Azure DevOps, LLMs, and we touched base upon the challenges of Gen AI. We'll move to the prompt engineering now. It is part of you might have, I think if you just Google it, or if you just go ahead and link on the LinkedIn or Naukri.com and just look for prompt engineering as a skill and see how many jobs are opening, right? You'll be astonished because there's lot many people are actually started asking these things in their JDs. Yeah, so specifically focusing jobs which are more towards the AI world or ML worlds. Yeah. So national tradition for you, if someone who is just starting, I think they can start with the understanding the infrastructure, or just get a little bit of basic understanding of the infrastructure, understand prompt engineering, understand ML ops, ML's models, and then move to these LLMs. So that's the reason prompt engineering is the key. So what is prompt engineering, right? Is it science? It is art? It is commerce, or is it engineering? Yeah. So I think it is nothing like that. So it is just like, now it is more fancy name for the AI. So AI is a buzzword, so there has to be some fancy name to generate some hype around it, right? So it is just simple input. So you say give the input to your laptop, and then via keyboard, and then you'll have output. So same thing. Prompt engineering is nothing but the giving input to your LLMs. The key difference here is proper input, a key input. Yeah. If you just ask any vague um, thing to the LLM, it will get very generic answer. That would not be a real value addition of your tokens. So when you talk to LLMs, you talk to in exchange of tokens, and that token will have some cost associated with it. If you ask very vague questions, you will not get proper answers, and then you will unnecessarily lose the tokens. That will cost you, but also that will also improve the carbon footprint behind, because whenever you ask something, it will go ahead to the LLM, and LLM will use some hardware power to generate the answer. Yeah. Um, so that is prompt engineering. um, Keep in mind the cost for each word and space when you talk to LLMs. Your words and numbers are not same. Ensure the what is the specific output you are requesting. You need output into the JSON format or tabular format or whatever format. So ensure that you have given a specific uh, you have told your in your prompt that I need output in this specific um, format. Ensure that there isn't any white spaces. Ensure that you do not use the, or ensure you are using a proper um, format of it. Say don't use just words. So in this thing, right, if you 19th January 2014 versus 19th January 2014. So ideally anyone who would see the second options, this one here, right? Second option, this I say where is this one? So if you see this one is this one should cost a large amount of tokens versus this one, because it's just 1 2 3 4 5, right? Versus these are much more. January is a bigger word here. um, but is that the real is that the reality? We would say that in a in a demo shortly. Yeah. So the key thing, this is I think when you are starting this journey, uh, learn about talking to your LLMs, right? Improve your prompting, what you ask, improve the because each word cost you something. Ensure that what is you are expecting, and also tell them specifically that no, you don't want these things to be in your output. If you want to trace something about some word, so use the capital letters. Yeah, use the all caps, so that these models would know, okay, this is important. Yeah. Yeah, and then formatting also is the key thing. uh, so what is the general idea recommendation from prompt is what we just saw. Now moving to the prompt selection strategy. um, so start with the heaviest model. So we have ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT Turbo, and then we'll have ChatGPT 4, right? So why this is critical? So now you will not always be human to human. You will not talk to the LLMs all the time. You will have some application will talk to the LLMs, right? I will see that in demo again. So there will be some template created by the application owner. Say if you go. on the Microsoft Studio, right? You'd see generate the image of in 3D format for some specific model, right? So specific prompt or template been created. So to create that specific templates to for specific output, you start with the largest model, and then come down to gradually come down to a lowest model. So that way, this is how it will improve your prompt templatization, prompt selection, or prompt creation, or input in short creation strategy. Other way is like you may add, if you may give it a try by creating multiple, asking multiple model the same question and see which one would answers which input is more accurate to your output requirement, and then learn about it. It is not um, sure shot. Give it a try and then build your templates or prompts. As again, if you want to stress on something, ensure that it is all in all caps. uh, this is again which I mentioned earlier, that how do we reduce the hallucination, or what is the hallucination. The example that which I mentioned, that when I asked to plan my trip, it hallucinated something which is not the reality. It mentioned that there are few prompt in on the way, and there are some stuff that you should visit which is not the reality. So it does fake something. It does give it just try to um, make up something. Yeah. So just uh, make sure that you are aware about it. How do we ensure that how do we ensure that you reduce the hallucination is provide us clear specific prompts saying that okay, I need this one, be accurate, be specific, and also ensure that um, you mentioned that okay, I don't want this thing. So you mentioned that I don't want to go on the beaches on my journey. I want itinerary, and I'm a veg or non-veg or whatever your preference is. Yeah. You want to stay somewhere, ensure that I want to stay in 3-star 4-star hotels. Yeah, on the journey. So ensure that all those clear cut instructions in your prompting to avoid the hallucination. Constraints rule, that as I mentioned, multi-step prompting and assign a role to the AI model. Again, you can say in the start, okay, you are my um, tour guide, or you are my nutrition guide, or you are my gym trainer, and I need you to help me on this specific exercise. What are the ways for me to improve all those things? So assign a role, and then do a step by step prompting to reduce the hallucination. I think what I learned in this is, if you just give a clear and specific prompt, what you want to do, tell what is the output you want expecting, and if there is a stress in any specific requirement, put it into the all caps, and then say this is not what I want, this I want, and assign the model to assign a AI model. I think most of the times, 95-97% of the time, you would not see any hallucination in your output. Yeah. So this is we will talk about. So we all talk about what is the uh, uh, what is DevOps, and we learned about GenAI, LLM, and prompt engineering at a very high level. This is very vast topic, but I think we just scratch surface. So I think what I see at a very high level in the DevOps or in Azure world, you can integrate or people are integrating these Gen AI models in the Azure DevOps pipeline stages to improve their DevOps lifecycle. And again, proactive reactive monitoring, many applications like Datadog and I think many other like that, they already started implementing this monitoring, this GenAI capabilities, prediction capabilities in their application, so that earlier it was just reactive monitoring or alerting. Now it is just not reactive, but it is but it is active as well. It is also predicting also. So one of the example would be, so if your this alerting would have lots of it would have lots of data, the previous data or history of your application. So say your application went down, there was incidents a couple of months back, that caused the downtime. So was that then why that downtime has been caused? Yeah, because the underlying infrastructure was running 90% for 2 hours, and at the end, at the peak, it crashed. So what will happen whenever there is excess amount of memory being used? It will start sending you active alerts so that you can take care and to avoid that incidents. So that could be one of the use case. Okay, so now is the time. I think I will quickly move to the Azure OpenAI demo, and I will show you what I really mean by that. Okay, where is that? Okay, so this is I was talking about so a couple of website which we discussed earlier. I'll quickly talk. I will talk about, and then we'll go to the demo. So I think this is a key. If you know Docker Hub, uh, for containers, you should know this Hugging Face for your AI community or AI models. Yeah, so this is nothing but the models that many people has kept or uploaded here. You can just download this. See the Metas LLM is also the Llama is also there. I mean, there are many um, models that people has uploaded. You can just go to this model, download. If you have the hardware and storage, you can download it on your local PC and start testing, training these models on your data. Yeah, so this is I think you all can bookmark this. Another key thing that we quickly touch base about the how do we ensure that uh, we should use the minimum tokens for uh, minimum tokens for prompting, right? During prompting, if you say is 19th 1901 2014, right? So you got how many tokens that you used? You use four tokens here, right? And if you if I scroll back and then say 19 19 January 2024. Yeah, so you see, um we cut it down. So you use the four tokens here. Yeah, versus we do here 01. Same, right? Even though there is January is a bigger word. So smaller doesn't mean that you are using the less number of tokens. Yeah, so that's how it is. So this is in the legacy models, ChatGPT 3, and then if you go back to the latest one, you see latest ones using 7 tokens. Yeah, so 4 versus 7. And now if you go back and see, if I just put January, you are using 6. So if you use the formatting, if you understand, if you do a little bit of testing or a little bit of experiment, you would see in the latest models the token is list versus older models. So instead of using even though there is actually then more characters here than the just putting 01 here. Yeah, it's 7 token versus 6 tokens. So this is the key thing. Try to use this website uh, to understand how your tokenization is being used, because that is directly associated with the cost. Now we'll move to our Azure OpenAI demo. If you go on, you log into the portal, you can see the Azure OpenAI here, and then you can just create uh, Azure OpenAI instance. Okay, let me select the subscription. I can put it somewhere here. Just say that in your nearest whatever the region that you wanted to deploy, it is available. Yeah, this model is available at that location. AC EIT uh, demo. Yeah, and then select the pricing, which is standard 0. So this settings will depends on your organizations or your organization policies. So I'm keeping it default. I'll just go ahead and create the instance of Azure OpenAI. It would somewhere take 1 or 2 minutes once I click create, and then this would be just a skeleton of Azure OpenAI where we can host our lots of models, create a um, uh, and then we can fine tune the models. We can give the role to our GenAI or LLMs to act in certain way. Just as we discussed. So all right. So okay, let's move to this session. Where is this guy? Okay, so if you see this resource has been provisioned. So this is the skeleton of it. You can just click on this Azure OpenAI Studio. It will be moved to the new portal. If you see the URL, it is OAI OpenAI of Azure, and then you'll get moved from the Azure portal console of Azure offering. Yeah. So this will be a dedicated portal to manage your offerings or manage your OpenAI related components. The good thing about it, it is very well architected for monitoring purpose also. So you can monitor many things, what is happening in your portal, what are the things that you can create. Yeah. So this is how it looks like. I'll not use this portal. You can just see what are the models are available for me. um, uh, yeah, one thing, so you see these are the models which is available. We can just go ahead and leverage this model to talk and create a Gen AI kind of a portal, and then there are multiple ways to train that model as well. However, if you have developed some your own model rather than this one, or downloaded something from the Hugging Face and then train or feed your data and train it, right? So you can also use that as a backend to data files, or you can also put it into the storage SQL databases and then attach it and then start using it, right? So um, so this is the model that I wanted to show. Here you'll able to see it. Now we'll go back to the our AI Studio and we'll create a deployment. Yeah. So in the deployment, you can simply start and select which model you wanted to use. See this 16K, 32K. These are the tokens. Okay. Or this or the parameters of it. So I'll go ahead and select the this one. Okay, that's fine. I think then give it a name. AZOI. And then in advanced, there are a few options that how do you want to treat it, the token limit, and all sort of things that you can select it. But for now, it is fine. So this would should not be a big. It will not be much long time. I'll just click. It would be deployed. Yes, if you just click on it. Yeah. Now, if you open a playground, so this is the key thing. So whatever we talked about it, Okay, so here you can give the what is the what you want it to be, right? Have the six-place writing assistance. Okay. um, so and then you can give a context here, what you want to be. So now you can just put um, be my, you will be my gym trainer. I think this is you can give any context whatever you want. So this is where you feed your data. Okay, and then the key thing is here is the parameters. So how many messages, so when you talk to yeah, LLMs, right, it keeps the history, what you're talking. So if you say you're my trainer, give me recommendation for whey protein, which protein I should be using. Or you say, okay, now tell me about the fun fact about the whey proteins, when should I take it. Or then you ask me, is it good idea to take a creatine, when should I take it, right? So it will not only take your last message, but it will also take your last 5 6 messages to answer you, because to take a context from all those last 6 7 messages, and based on that whole question it will answer you. Okay, so this is the settings here. So this is, I think, this is the key thing, right? Temperature, and then top p, and then temperature, and then this top p. So if you change this parameter, it will depend on these parameters, it will change the output of it. If you um, increase the p, but do not increase temperature and top p at the same level. Make sure that it is like either you increase the top p or increase the temperature, to get the proper or real or proper answers. Otherwise, if you increase both of them, then it will get confused. Do you need to be more realistic, or do you want to be do you want to be more what do you call basic, or just be much more complicated in that terms. Yeah, so this is not exactly complicated, but it is how you wanted to behave. I think when you start the Windows Copilot, it will ask you what does that really mean. Scroll it up. Okay, okay. So here so if you see here on the top right, more creative, more balanced, and more precise. So this is all based on these parameters here. Yeah. So if you tune it accordingly, it will be more balanced or more creative. Yeah. So this is what I wanted to touch base. And then another I wanted to show you is Microsoft Designer Studio. So the template which I was talking to you earlier, when you build the prompt engineering or prompts, right? So this is how it would help. So it is this. So image creator. If you click on any of this thing, um, so see this a garden villa in the year of 30,000, right? Or these are nothing but the prompts. or templates that if you type this prompt, you will get this kind of results. So you might want to create a couple of prompts like it for your users. You know that the user would asking, these are the couple of questions they ask me all the time, right? So you would help them by creating a prompt like this. So Japanese or Indian, it's an Indian garden with uh, lots of flower. Yeah, so it will try to generate something like that. Yeah, so this is the demo which I was talking about. You can create. So this is simple inbuilt, available in-house or native OpenAI offering or Azure OpenAI offering. If you wanted to have your own, you can use these different sources, upload new data sets, and many things, and you can talk to the OpenAI models. Yeah. So now moving to the presentation. uh, I think next thing is the cloud certification. This is the last stage of our discussion. As I mentioned that learning is a critical. Learn the theory, also understand the certification, what are the certification available for you, to test your knowledge against, and again if you use this proper path, then your learning will be streamlined, not you'll not be moving here and there. Yeah, so that is the key thing. But don't think that if you are certified you will get a job. You really need to uh, do some kind of projects, um, attend as many as local user groups, have connections, learn, keep learning, and then keep attempting these certifications. So initially you can go ahead with the AI 900, which would be easy if you just starting your journey, and if you have a little bit of understanding, have some experience, then go for the AI 102. So I think AI 102 would be someone for a little bit of experienced person, no matter in which field. That is what it is. So now we are the end of session. Any questions? Please let me know. If not, happy learning. Uh, Let me know if there's anything. Please reach out to the on the LinkedIn, and I will be happy to help if there is anything. With that, I'll now stop sharing and hand it over to host. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. That was an insightful session, I feel, for all the audience as well. And moving on, so this is about a little challenge and opportunity that Microsoft has to provide. I will just share my screen. Give me a minute. As you can see on my screen, currently there's a slideshow with a QR code. So this Microsoft opportunity basically is about a free certification on AI that and NLP that you can do. I think in some given dedicated hours and bag two free certifications where you just scan this QR code, you move to a link tree. That link tree has three challenges. So in these three challenges, if you go and you know do all your challenges based on the links provided from the link tree, and then send us the transcript, you will also get a chance. So there's a basically an event happening in February in Bangalore, where Sir Satya Nadella is joining, and those students who are completing the challenges and taking up the certification very efficiently are given a chance to be welcomed at the Bangalore event by Microsoft. So I hope you all do it. And for any doubts, you can reach out to Azure Developer Community on LinkedIn or Twitter, wherever you feel like, and contact the team, and you can get your doubts cleared. And all the best to you. Hope you scan this. I'll keep the screen on for 5 more minutes and scan this, and grab this free certification chance as soon as possible. Okay, I'm keeping the screen open, so I hope you are scanning right now and even at least joining the first challenge. And if you so there's another thing that we can help you out with is, if you do this challenge based on the links provided from the scanner and send us your transcript through mail. I will just mention the mail ID over here. Uh, so if you send your transcript ID to this mail, then we will also send out Microsoft swags to few selected students based on their results. Because if you do it from the Linktree scanner, we'll get all the data that you have scored and everything. So all the best, and I'm keeping the screen open for a few more minutes until everyone scans. All right. This is all for today's session. We hope you've taken, a big chunk of knowledge from today's session by Sir Rahul Lambore, and you maybe go back to your classes, go back home, and look those, things and words that you've heard today in a more depth. And in case of any other help we can provide to you on these particular topics, you can always reach out to the Azure Developer Community. You can always visit our YouTube's resources that are available there. And thank you so much for joining us. That is all for the today's event. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.